What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of No Plot All Filler. Austin, what are we getting into today?
We are going to talk about the main world-defining characters of all of the different anime universes.
Juicy.
So what makes that world the way it is, basically?
What character has the most influence on how things are either
shaping
now or maybe something that, because we talked about this beforehand, like people that maybe you didn't realize right away but are now coming to the conclusion of, based off like things that come out way later, they did define the world one way or the other, and we'll like get into that as well. Kev, do you know which one we're starting with?
Today we are going to start with One Piece.
You sound like a whole teacher. Today in class, today we're going to be starting with...
And you know what's crazy about that is I know that wasn't first on your actual list. You read the list like 4 times before, and that was like number 4.
I just said, don't you dare put my favorite anime first. I want to talk about that last, but you know what? I'm grateful. It's my second favorite anime, but let's go. One Piece.
No, let's go ahead. Okay. I mean, I might as well start because I'm like the most heated about this. No, it's fine.
All right, let's go.
It's like there are 3 people. Right? There is Goldie Roger, obviously started the Great Pirate Era. You know, without him, people aren't searching for the One Piece. No one what's the show? Without that, what is the show?
And there you go. You leave it at Goldie Roger because you're gonna let other people talk.
There's
I'm
just saying 3. I'm just gonna say what I think 3 people are, and then I'm gonna say what I think mine.
Oh, okay, got you.
Then I think there's
Mr.
Ask D Question, the one that asked the question to Roger, because without him, there is.
I'm
just saying.
That's an argument people say. People do say that.
If he didn't ask the question, Roger, where's your treasure? He never makes a statement that starts the Great Pirate Era. Would he have done it anyways? I don't know. Okay. But without that question, we don't know. Then also,
not with his laughing and everything.
Right.
He probably like, nah. Oh, Luffy wouldn't have. And everybody's saying they're seeing him and Luffy. Luffy wouldn't have said a dang word until somebody said something. Well, why'd you end up telling him? Because he asked. That's literally Luffy.
Yeah. And then I think there's the Gorosei, who obviously shaped the world in a specific way. So me, I think it's obviously like no troll Gold Roger. Because although the Gorosei are like very much the reason why the world is the way it is today.
I think stick on your Goldie Roger thing.
I'm just saying that the way history is, I think it's Gold Roger because without him, even with the influence of the Gorosei, people wouldn't be doing what they're doing. There wouldn't be as many pirates. There wouldn't be people searching for a treasure. Luffy wouldn't. Our main character that we know and love isn't searching for anything other than, I want to be like my mentor Shanks, or not my mentor, but like this dude I thought was cool, Shanks. No like goal. It's just like I just want to have fun. But he has a goal now. Without Roger, that doesn't exist, and we don't have a show that we love. So I'm just like, for sure, has to be Gold Roger.
But why did Goldie Roger get executed? Who made that call?
He's the most infamous
let's be honest.
of all time.
Who made that call? Goldie Roger.
I mean, real.
But no, I get what you're saying though. Who's responsible for killing him? Actually, who wanted to get after him?
Yes,
because he was wanted man for like
what? Then you ask the question, why did he want it?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. It's the.
I'm just
Here, let me just say this. I'm gonna go next because I don't want anyone to say what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I think it's pretty much there's 2 ways to look at it here. Goldie Roger, obviously, he inspired the Great Pirate Era. He got all those people wanted to become pirates. He's inspired Shanks. Shanks was on his crew, and like he's like everyone. Luffy, obviously, Ace is his son. I mean, Ace hated him, but like he.
There's a lot of truth.
He's right, exactly. And you can say from a pirate's perspective, of course, he's one that shaped the world because without him, I'm not doing this. Mm-hmm. Without him, there's no Shanks. Without him, there's no Luffy because Luffy's doing something different. Maybe he actually listens to Garp and becomes a Marine. Who knows? Probably not with his rebellious spirit, but like who knows? But and so in that sense, yes, Goldie Roger is a world builder from our perspective as viewers watching the Straw Hat Crew being built and everything. Yeah. No, yeah, I'm not. But funny that you said that though because a couple minutes ago when you were talking, I was thinking about something else that was in manga, and I was like, that's what
I understand what I said. Because anyways, go ahead.
But the Gorosei, which we don't know much about, we know that they're like seemingly like the superpower, right? They're like in charge of everything. No one really knows who they are. We've had glimpses and like doses of like who's like in power, who's in
master
control.
puppeteers.
Celestial
Just to,
dragons.
huh?
We've seen celestial dragons, and they're like the head of them. Right?
Yeah.
So like we know there's corruptness.
But then you're wondering, like, do they actually run things? Like celestial dragons, like, or is that were they put in this position? And we learned, I don't understand. Let's not spoil nothing. Because obviously celestial dragons are on top, but like, do they run the Gorosei?
no,
like-
Gorosei run them.
Okay,
They're
okay.
the highest ranking celestial.
Okay, so the high. Oh, okay, I thought you were saying the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, okay. So exactly,
they're the
They're-
government
they're-
of the celestial dragons.
they're
essentially.
so. The thing about One Piece, the way that it's created, like each moment that it glimpses to them in their room, sitting in their chairs, whether it's like Shanks showed up and talked to them or whatever it is, they are very particular in how things will go, how things must go, and if they don't go this way, we need to fix it immediately.
They're always
And like they're
plotting.
always like O'Hara, what they did with that, like all these things, like oh, people can't know the history. They're literally creating the world that everyone's living in because there's a 100-year void that nobody knows about, but you do
the
probably. I'm assuming you know, and you're gonna sit there and like no one else
the
can,
poneglyphs.
and the poneglyphs
literally
are only there-
exist because of them.
and they're only there because they can't be destroyed. I'm pretty sure. Like,
But they exist because of them, essentially. Because why else would you need a poneglyph other than to tell the Void Century, right?
well, I don't know if they want them there. I'm sure if they.
No, I know,
they're
I would
industri-
assume
But
that
I'm not saying that they
would-
want them there, but they exist because the Void Century exists.
Oh,
And the
oh,
thing
right,
is,
right, yeah, exactly.
right, and we don't know, and they erased that.
Yeah.
So it's like something based on them erasing.
But it's like a different
history.
language. But it's a different language that
Yes.
only certain people can read, like
That-
Robin.
Based on them erasing the history of the Void Century, the Poneglyphs have to do something with that. That would go to show that the Gorosei didn't have a hand in creating the Poneglyphs, and their goal was to get rid of it. So
Yes,
no one can
but
see
they
it.
exist because the Gorosei erased that century.
Right.
So
Well,
they're
Well, that's not why they exist,
existed.
but they exist, and the
They're- they
Gorosei
wanna
did
get
that
rid
so
of
people
it,
won't. Yeah,
and
I know what you're
they
saying.
don't see it.
but if the century didn't get erased by them, those poneglyphs would not exist.
Would they
I
not?
don't know what you mean by that.
How does that not make sense? If the Gorosei doesn't erase that century, then the poneglyphs just don't exist.
Well, I think no. I think I think I get what you're trying to say, but I think the poneglyphs are kind of like ancient artifacts or ancient like caves where there's like stories from history put in there. They were just always there, and then the only thing that would like maybe I'm wrong, but like if
Were they made after the Void Century?
no, I don't know.
I think-
They were
I think
always
it's
there. I
during-
believe.
It's just like
That's not what I got from it, I guess.
I just go
I guess
based
I
on
didn't-
anime alone.
I
it's like,
assumed
this
that's
is
what it
a
was.
I thought it
history.
was like a
'Cause
written
we,
thing.
In Fisherman
That's-
Island, we find out about a Joy Boy. We never even knew
Yeah.
what is a Joy Boy. Who is that? And he's like writing a history, like apologizing to the former Poseidon or whatever. And it's just like that is a part of history that the Gorosei doesn't want out there.
Yeah.
So I don't know how them erasing history makes those things exist. I think those exist within the Void Century, and the Gorosei are trying to cover it up. So I don't think
And they're
it exists because of
indestructible,
them.
correct?
It does, yeah.
So that's why the Gorosei hasn't
the
destroyed them.
history of like that language existing and like anything that happens.
But even so, the fact that whenever something happens, they're on top of it. They want to end it. They don't want anyone to ever understand the real truth behind everything. You are literally in control of the way this world is built, and you are in control of what is and what isn't accepted in this world. You allow pirates. Maybe not. Like we know how strong freaking
I mean,
these
don't.
these
It's like
emperors are.
bounties, but they can't.
We know how strong these emperors are,
Yeah.
right? And like there's only certain people. Like you have to be like you have to go up the ranks before you can actually just decide to like step up to an emperor or something.
Right.
But it's not like you can't. Like it's not like you can't do any. You know, it's not like you can't do anything. I don't know. I just feel like the Gorosei are so.
The only counter to that at all is just like because of Gold Roger, it increased a level of fear within them, where it's like they like incidents like O'Hara, where like they're attacking people for trying to search it. Like without a Goldie Roger, the search for poneglyphs and trying to find the One Piece doesn't exist, and they won. Like it's over. Like it doesn't matter what people continue to try to do; they're never gonna find out what the past was. But because of Goldie Roger, now because people are searching for the One Piece, so we know there's some connection. Like just going to all the islands,
Mhm.
finding the road poneglyphs and what they say, and then they say something about the Void Century. Based on that alone, he created another level of fear that they didn't think they had to worry about because
Mhm.
they're getting rid of the biggest criminal of all time that knows something.
But right before he died, he did that.
So that's the only. That's the
What
only
do you got? What do you got?
I'm going to side with Isaac on this. Goldie Roger, for one reason. Ace. If we didn't have Ace's influence on Luffy, I don't think we would have gotten. I mean, I think we would have gotten the same Luffy to an extent, but I think Ace gives us a whole element to this world building and what he established in his own right, and more of the pirate driven. I think we wouldn't have seen like the rebelliousness so much out of Luffy
I mean,
without.
as a big brother, he does.
So I think
Yeah, he
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like, I want to pit back off what you were saying last time, though. But like, even with that being the case, Roger doing that was only, or finding the One Piece and trying to get everyone to go there was only even possible because of the fact that they had erased everything prior to that, and then he opened up the door for that. And even so, they still trying to control by putting bounties on any small time pirates like Buggy the Clown who can't do a thing. There's still a bounty on your head because I don't want anyone getting close to that. And then they have people like, I mean, Zoro, had he not switched, he's getting stronger. He's still going to get stronger.
Yeah.
Where he's at now, he's still going to become what he's at, probably. Maybe not. I mean, some could say Luffy inspired him.
Yeah.
But I feel like he already had that raw natural talent. Him and Luffy were already on par equally at that point anyway. So who knows if had he just kept training and had that interaction with Mihawk still being the bounty hunter, if he would, his past and realize, oh wait, I'm not him. I got to be. And he trained so hard.
Yeah.
And so if there's people like Zoro becoming how strong Zoro is now, coming against pirates, and there's plenty of bounty hunters that are like that, then the world government's still getting their job done to an extent because they're trying to get people to stop this from
I
happening.
guess it's like different perspectives. It's like the perspective.
I see the other side too. Like, I'm not saying like I'm completely
It's-
right
it's
about it.
like
I'm just, I could see.
I think it's different perspectives in time because if you're looking before the execution, then it's like obviously the Gorosei.
Yeah.
But like the entire world changed. That's why they call it the Great Pirate Era because of Roger. And it like the world shifted and
See,
changed.
I was about to say something.
So like prior to Goldie Roger, it's like not even
Anime only, Titus. Anime
you
only.
can't question.
Yeah.
But the world did change with Roger. So, anyways,
Yes.
Austin,
Okay, anybody else? What you guys
what do
got?
you think?
I think it's the Gorosei as well. Basically, for kind of what I said, it's like they erased a whole century. I mean, I think yes, Goldie Roger probably like let himself get caught to an extent, but they were the reason he got executed. So why he even started the whole Great Pirate Era. So I think they're just like they are the puppeteers behind the whole like everything that happens essentially in the world.
That's fair.
I mean, they're the reason the warlords exist. They give the titles basically to the emperors. Like they're the reason these strong pirates do exist, essentially.
Technically, they're still the ones in charge and in control because no one has done what Roger's done. No one has found it yet.
And realistically, they do have the people's support because, like we talked about in previous episodes,
People villainize the pirates.
Yeah, people think pirates are awful and
People
scary
are
and
terrified of Luffy.
Yeah, so they really do probably
Man,
have the
liberates
people-
kingdoms
they have
and
the people's
liberates
support. So that also goes a long ways. It's just like
Yeah, they do have the people's support.
Yeah.
People fear pirates.
yeah, they're
terrified of them, and there's way more than there ever was before. So it's like
I mean,
And
for
only
good-
people
for
that
good,
know.
for good reason too. I mean, you got Kaido
you got
and
Kid, you got people
Doflamingo
like
and
Kid,
Kid
they're just
and like
off people.
you got
For
Big
sure.
Mob.
No,
like,
but
you
even
got all these
Doflamingo, his people think that he was a god.
They thought he was a benevolent
Yo,
leader.
they thought he was like a
until,
great-
until they realized what was going on.
Yeah, well,
And that's
I
when
know,
they
but that's the
think
thing, and that's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I know. I'm just so
we
it's
got,
so we got a
Roger,
Gorosei.
Gorosei, Roger.
But also, let me just say this: before we even started this, before I even thought like Gorosei, I was like, oh, obviously Roger, right? But I think it's just a perspective of like from the character of Luffy, from the character of all the pirates, from the character, from all the perspectives of the people that we watch arc to arc, like, well, pirate wise, like it's obviously Roger. But in the sense of like who's actually running the world,
they're looking at the actual.
it's the Gorosei who's running the world, who's in control of every aspect of the world, and is trying to stop the little fires, put out every little fire that shows up, like
Or
Luffy.
start little fires.
Like-
I mean, Doflamingo was basically endorsed by them as essentially because he was a warlord and they were just letting it happen.
Right. Well, yeah, and they hired the warlords. It's
That's
like, yeah,
what I'm saying. It's like they were
and that's
essentially
literally
letting it
like what people
happen.
say about like controlled opposition. You're a pirate, but you're gonna come join this warlord thing.
Yeah.
You can do your own little thing, whatever you want, as long as you are there at our
It was
beck and
just
call
another-
whenever we need you.
Yeah, it's
And
just
obviously
another
the
reason,
warlord
like
thing
they
is done,
allow
but-
they turn a blind eye as long as like you're a warlord, but you can go do whatever you want, and they knew that he was doing that,
Yeah.
and they were still just allowing.
But I
it
think of
to
in the
happen.
aspect of when you think of what character had the most like effect on like
Yeah.
building the world of One Piece as we know it, you would say Roger. But I think in actuality, it probably is the Gorosei. But I don't know.
perspective.
That's a
and
perspective.
where
It's a
you look-
perspective.
where you look at it.
I think post Roger Pirate era, it's like clearly like Goldie Roger, but like anything before that, it's obviously the Gorse. I mean, we don't see the perspective of the people. I mean, you randomly do.
Yeah,
So it's like
Mhm.
hard to gauge that, but
we know
I
they
do
trust.
that
They know
there's
they trust
a
Marines
real
and stuff.
fear for pirates, and people hate Roger. Like overwhelmingly, people hate Roger because he created. This
He
era
was the
that they hate
reason
so
that-
much.
yeah.
So it's like it is tough. It's tough to say, but
Anyways, what do we got? What do we got next on the list,
Yeah.
Kev?
All right, next. Let's jump.
Oh, let us know what you guys think. Sorry, let us know what you guys think about Lowe's too. Who's
If we're
right?
missing
Me and
something.
Austin or Kevin and I?
Or we're just missing someone.
What? They're like, what are you talking about? It's clearly Dragon.
Yeah, I mean,
He's the revolutionary.
Dragon, bro, you're just a monkey rider.
Yo, that's
Whoa.
wild because of monkey. It's 'cause-
Whoa.
Way. I'm sorry, he just hasn't been in enough. To say
We
he's
just
fucking-
don't know.
Bro, did you
We just-
see what he did?
we-
Without freaking Dragon, Smoker killed Luffy. What are you talking about, bro? Like, what are you talking?
I mean, Luffy just wouldn't exist. Let's be real.
Show's done without
There's
Dragon.
no without Dragon. Luffy's
No, I don't think Smoker would.
Jin
I
was the
don't,
most influential because he saved his life twice.
I don't think
There you
Smoker
go.
would have
That's
killed. I don't think
fair.
Smoker would have.
I'm saying Luffy straight up-
Trafalgar killed.
I'm saying
saved his
Luffy
life,
would
too.
straight up existed because Stab.
What Smoker would have actually killed, right? Without Luffy or without Dragon getting busy,
That
Luffy's
is Garp. What are
Luffy's
you
not
talking
even
about?
there.
Garp's
Luffy's
the one
not
that
even there,
started
bro.
this tree.
No, Garp was
Wait,
gonna.
that's not-
Garp was gonna do it
Let's not
regardless.
play that. Let's not play
Garp
the
was gonna
family
do it
tree.
regardless.
Let's not play the family
It's Dragon.
tree.
Come on, it's Dragon.
All right.
All right. Anyways, next.
Okay,
Sorry.
Jump to the top of the list. Let's go with My Hero.
He said, "Jump to the top of the list."
We're going all over the place here. We got a list.
Yo, he said, "We're not doing One Piece last." That's what they Kevin said.
We're going all over the place.
All right, My Hero.
Okay.
All right, I'm go. Or, well, actually, let one of you guys go first if you want.
All right, I'll start. I'm gonna go with All For One on this one. I
Oh,
think his impact, especially with All Might, and is what creates Deku as the character, the main character of the universe. Without All For One, you don't have a bad guy. You don't have somebody who's setting up the whole evil side of this story, this plot.
I mean,
Yeah.
he makes Shigaraki who he is, and that essentially makes everything.
His manipulation.
He literally makes Shigaraki. Like, how does that not like?
unless you agree, I think it's going to be me and you on this one.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be.
Oh, you go. I mean,
I agree. I agree with him. Honestly,
I mean, who weakens All Might for Deku to step up? That's my
where we're
opinion.
at right now. I think-
Weakens? He didn't
Like-
weaken him. He had the embers left in him, and then he got. It was the embers of. It wasn't actually one for all inside of him anymore.
He did weaken him.
He did weaken him. That's why he has like the.
Wait, are you talking? No, are you talking about? Are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about that. I thought you were talking about that last fight. I was like, he had the embers.
I'm talking
No.
like,
Oh, okay.
if that wood wasn't there and
I don't even think.
All For One wasn't there, like
Well, that's like narratively they had to have that happen in order for Deku to take over.
he's just gonna run and everything.
Isn't that part of the? Isn't that part of the universe?
No, yeah, I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because I have to.
Do you want me to go
respond
first? Or you want to go first?
I mean, I can go. I mean,
Okay.
I just because
I feel like you have a better response to me. That's the only reason I said I should go
Well,
first.
I have to respond.
Coin
I have to respond because you're saying that, but like unless he, like Titus was saying, unless he passed off the court, he beat All For One, even with the embers, right? He has the embers left,
Even with him,
and he
he beat
still
him.
beats him. He would be standing loud and proud with his ability still if he didn't pass it off to Deku. So that I don't know.
Ooh, go
I
for
don't
it.
even. I don't
doesn't,
even
like-
necessarily. I'm not even like saying that. I think All For One has literally made Japan the way it is. It's a crime-ridden, like just there's no. It's chaos entirely. Shigaraki is like this big bad. I mean, it's basically become Deku versus him, like All For One versus All Might again.
It's literally that
I
decay
feel like
freaking
that
power.
But, like-
is- that is like it's an interesting argument because these are different. If you look at a different point in time within the My Hero universe, you would never think that. That's like season 6,
Yeah, but-
5 and 6 or 6 and 7.
That's what I was
Everything
saying.
leading up to that, we're talking about the man that got rid of organized crime as a thing.
I guess I'm just
in
I'm
Japan.
looking at it
Because
as where it is now.
It's like people are afraid and terrified of All for One.
But that's how I look
But-
at All for One. Is like he's literally, and he even says it himself. He's like, I don't care if my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Plan
plans
doesn't work,
like,
yeah.
doesn't work. I have 30 more basically to get to my end goal. So he doesn't care if it's taken him 100 years to get to this
Because
point.
he's so calculated.
He
Which
knows
is why
that
I
he's going
said.
to
Which
get
is why
to
I
this
said he's
we
one
have
of
to
the
look back at what the original question is. Who's the most like world? What is it? World
influential to the world building.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you look at that, I don't know if I'm saying All for One. He's like the biggest opposition to the world builder because the world builder had everyone thinking like they're safe. I am here. That's his whole thing.
He's just
you
a
don't have to work.
Yeah.
I eliminated organized crime. There's the random villains that are there are being stopped by the other heroes that were inspired by me. Everyone in the current universe of people that we know wants to be a hero because of All Might. It doesn't end in Japan.
Yeah, but I think
we look overseas, doesn't matter what country, everyone's looking at
Stars and
All Might,
Stripes.
Stars and Stripes, one of the most broken people in the entire
Inspired
world.
by All Might.
Everyone's inspired by All Might and wants to be this guy.
Bakugo, Deku.
I guess I'm
It's
looking at it
everyone,
based on where
right?
it is, but like it's like All for One did away with all of that in like how short of a time span. No one even likes heroes.
But,
Well,
but hold on.
Look,
Let me say
okay,
something now.
go ahead.
Because it's a short time span that's been planned for years upon years. It wasn't like it was some like,
Yeah, but like-
he hasn't been reigning and ruling for. He's still not currently
No, he's
reigning
not.
and ruling.
But I'm just saying,
It's
like,
like-
look at the world now. Everybody hates heroes, and he did that in like the time span of. Yes, it might in his
but-
world. It took how many years? But like in the time span of the actual world, from like when it started until now, it's been like a few months.
You can
Yeah,
say
but think
that
about-
Japan. Can you say that about the rest
But-
of the world and the heroes?
But how much has he affected the entire
The world is fearful.
Everybody is literally
Okay, the world is
isolationist
fearful,
now
which is why
because of him.
they sent
That's true.
Stars and Stripes,
Yeah.
but like world building. So who built the world that we know as My Hero?
The entire world is
All Might.
isolationist mentality now because of him.
But it's All Might who built the world that they're all in, and because of his fall, that is why it was even allowed for this to
I would say
happen.
in the beginning of the show, it's definitely All Might. But where we're at now and understanding
I think
the
it's
story where it's at,
switched.
yeah, I think.
I don't think. I don't. Well, hold on, let me, I haven't even done the same
I
thing.
don't think it's a long-
I don't think it has though, because think about how. Well, go. Actually, you finish first. I'll let you finish first.
I think the longevity of how long All for One has affected, like all of the previous holders for One for All, have been affected by All for One. The whole concept is pushing back against him. Without him being the antagonist, like One for All doesn't like really need to pass on. It probably end. You know what I mean?
He's a
To be fair,
he's a
all the
well
vestiges- Most of the vestiges existed within like the same time period. So it was like me. It'd be like me passing it off to Titus passing it off to Austin. Austin passing
It's
it off
close
to Gavin.
generations. Yeah.
Most of them. So like the difference, like the real difference maker was from like the third or fourth or whoever it was to the person before All Might. I forget her name. And then from
Shigaraki's
Grandma.
Yeah.
Or was it grandma or aunt?
Grandma,
It was grandma. It was grandma. Yeah.
Then from her to All Might is like a long period of time, and then All Might's so it's like it's not like All for One. And the thing about All for One is he was like the ruler of Japan. Like, he was that guy. But he was taken down.
I think this is a similar
Multiple
argument
times.
to like the Gorosei versus like Goldie Roger. Like based on what time period you look at, it's basically like All for One now. I think is more of a impact to this world.
I think so.
I don't think so. I don't.
think so, but
I don't think so because even now after All Might's fall, Stain comes to talk to him and is just like inspiring him on who he is. You know who you are. You know what you did. You know what you represent. And because of All Might, all these heroes that are still haven't given up, it's because of All Might. Everything that's been built up is because of All Might. Deku and all this resistance, all this team
but,
coming
like-
together is because of All Might.
But the same amount of people that literally are like, oh, like All Might is the reason. The same amount of people literally walk away because of All for One. The same amount of heroes.
They're not. No. They're not walking away because of All for One. They're walking away because of the way the people are reacting to what Shigaraki.
Why do the people
So,
look
you
at
saw
the
that
heroes
because
that
of what
way?
Shigaraki.
countries. So if you look at this, the countries when it comes, and I showed this in the anime recently. The countries when it came to the heroes, they were mad that their leaders are saying everyone we're abandoning Japan. But the heroes that were inspired by All Might, the heroes that wanted to fight against Shigaraki, were like, I can't do anything because my world leaders, Stars and Stripes, was going no matter what. And
Yeah.
like she's like, I'm going. You guys gonna support me or not? They ended up supporting her later on. But other heroes, like it showed the Egyptian looking dude that's like 2D all the time, whatever. he wanted to go, other heroes wanted to help, but their governments are like, no, because they were afraid.
Yeah,
But
because
we're
the
talking-
isolationist
But
mentality.
we're talking about people that were inspired by All Might. There's a ton of heroes. Most people have superpowers.
But the whole world.
Well, the crime was
Right.
infected.
But the only people we can say that effectively switched up, other than like the governments, effectively switched up on All Might being the one that inspires them, the one that changed the world, are the citizens of Japan. Like that's not worldwide out.
Well, even so,
I'm
the
talking
fear,
about
the,
people
the,
in
actual world, like the whole governments, they won't even send their heroes. Like who has more of an
but
effect?
is that
It's like-
is that hold on? Is that civilians or governments?
It's
Though
the only thing
Is that
we know
civilian?
Yeah, but what affects the world?
The governments are.
But what
are
affects
people.
the world?
What affects the world?
Like the fact that the governments won't send their heroes to go help Japan.
But like
That's
that-
more affecting than the people.
Saying that is like saying.
Well, no, but that
hey,
doesn't mean the whole world though. That means the governments,
That's
which means the
saying-
people that are in power are deciding what they're going to do for their country.
That
Doesn't mean
was-
that doesn't mean the whole world is. I don't know. I don't even recall if the civilians, if showed civilian reactions. So if it was just government, that can't be the world. That can be the government in control. You can't trust all governments, and governments are reliant and self-serving. Okay, well we don't want to because if this happens to us,
Yeah,
but let them deal with it. But what the point is All Might inspired the ones that governments are telling them not to go to still go. The reason why people feel like they can do anything is because All Might is no longer there. The impact that All Might had on the world,
that's
whether he's
true.
there or not there, is
My
it's
thing-
still All Might that is the one that created the
That's
safe
a good
haven
point.
or the fear because we don't have him anymore.
Lack
If we
of
didn't
All
have-
Might or All
if we
Might
didn't
being
have All
that's a
Might,
good point.
and Deku went through this whole process, what was his aim be? Just to be the number one hero?
He didn't even know who All for One was, and yes, that was his
feel
goal.
like-
I want to be All Might. I want to be. the
Everybody
one-
wanted to be All Might. I think
you
that's
know,
well
It
established.
wasn't just All Might for Midoriya, especially.
In the beginning,
It wasn't
yeah.
just I want to be the next All Might. I want to be a hero that can be as strong as him, so I can protect people
And as good as
so
him.
many people. Most of the world didn't even know who All for One was. Most of the world, and those people were inspired regardless. They didn't want to be All Might because they wanted to fight against All for One. That's new. No one knew that. They just wanted to be a hero like All Might that saved people with a smile on their face. Because
Yeah.
that's who All Might
Because
was.
I am here.
But
I
All
just-
for
I
One
just-
coming in raised.
I just don't
it-
agree with that at all.
I feel like it's so wild to take a
To be fair, these two things have to be opposing to make this show work. And so, like, they are like two heads on the same coin. Like, they are.
I'll tell you what.
But I guarantee you, All Might was created as a hero, and in order to have a hero have their opposition that was the opposition, you had to create All for One.
Well, it was,
But like All Might was always supposed to be, I feel like, the one that was seen to be whatever.
the creator
like-
created All for One and One for All because it was left for the Three Musketeers. That's the
Yeah, yeah.
saying. And like that was the plan from the beginning. But like before All for One was introduced, you were excited about like Midoriya and his progress. I was like, I want to see him go from freshman year to senior year, progressing in his like ability and becoming like that, saving people. Yes, obviously there's gonna be villains, but even without like All for One being All for One, this like beast of a person is
Who I love. He was my pick
who
for
is,
the villain
like,
episode.
not, like really great villain, and we love that. I think the show is still going to be really good. There would be other villains within this series. Stain was a great
Maybe
villain.
Overhaul would be the main villain.
Overhaul.
Even Stain, even Stain,
Stain, bro.
who is a villain who kills heroes,
Yeah,
respected and praised All Might.
like I don't think All
Like-
for One, like I think he's very integral to the show. Like you need him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I also think the story could have been written just as well without him.
Well, he's an element,
story
but he
without
is an
All
element.
Might-
He is an
I
element.
just don't understand how it can be
How?
literal. I don't understand.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know.
yes, the government, but who listens to the government? The hero. That's why he's not going.
But they
So
were-
why does it matter?
Not Stars and
But
Stripes.
it's not because of
One.
their. It's not
One.
because of their
Was
fear.
the strongest hero in the world
Yes,
at that
but
point.
one.
Because of their,
Who got beat?
No, but it's
Because-
not because
Facts.
of their
See
fear
that?
for All for One. It's because the government won't send
That's
them
my
out.
point. Because the
But
governments
their
are literally
admiration for All Might wanted
isolationists
them to go.
because of All for One, because they're scared that that's going to happen in their
But
country.
you do realize you're saying like it's like the like equivalent of like your wife not wanting to go out and do something that you know is the right thing to do that you want to do because she's fearful of your like damage or whatever, or like our household who's going to take care of the kids. That's like the same equivalent you're using with the government. Like they don't want you to go because they don't want to lose you. But like you're saying, I want to do this because this is who I'm inspired by. This person is the reason why I'm a hero. This person, it's not like the government. I think they're holding it back from doing what they want to do. And like Star Stripe is like, screw that. I'm gonna go help the guy who inspired me, who is my
I
mentor.
don't understand that argument at all. But
Do you not get what I'm
I
saying?
think
And
All Might.
I don't think that's the same at all.
It is. someone holding you back because they think that you're important or that you're vital to their own for their own selfish reasons, as opposed to because your whole purpose is all for one is stopping everyone back, holding everyone back. He's not. It's the government. It's the wife or whatever in the scenario that I was the question I was trying to make.
It was like causing the chaos in the other countries. I thought he was doing.
All for One.
He said that he had his like.
There's organized crime. Like organized crime still existed within the other countries, although it ceased to exist. Although it ceased to exist within our country, I have so many connections throughout the world, and like they are gonna come to help. Like that was.
And he really saw those people from.
He's like we're good. Like because he has so many plans
in Japan. Yeah.
But on how the world itself is shaped and how most people think, All for One was just a person that was defeated throughout history, and like yes. Through the planning of Shigaraki and the mental destruction of All Might by having his master's grandson being Shigaraki, like all of that, what he planning, which was great planning.
Oh, he's a beast.
The most influential on how the world is. I want to say I see where you're coming from because as of right now, people are afraid. But like in terms of how most people think and thought for so many years, it's like All Might. Like Titus was saying before, which was I think was such a great argument. All Might's there. He's here to protect us. We have nothing to fear at all. All Might's gone. All hope is lost. Who's the most influential? It's All Might. Because, like, with him, we feel safe. Without him, we're afraid.
Who caused him going away?
Right, but even still in that statement,
Deku, that's what caused him going away.
And he beat the guy one more time and he didn't even have it anymore.
Yeah, but. Kind of wanted to be locked up, so I mean that's kind of.
Did he wanted to be locked up?
Yeah,
I think it's kind of the Goldie Roger argument. I feel like
I don't think they're as comparable. I think Gorosei and Goldie Roger is more of an argument. I feel like who had a more impact on the world building of the world, and you can only go back to one season of the show that it was where he has this one moment to shine. There's totally different arguments.
It's like 5 seasons of All Might being the one that shaped the world for one season of one person to change everything.
For who knows how long? But let's just say next season Deku wins everything, right? Let's just say like next season, the season after, however many seasons are going to be, Deku beats everyone. So now Deku is the world builder of All Might. He's the one shapes All Might because I feel like that's like the same thing as
he would shape the world of the next hero.
Of the next year, correct? But like I'm talking about in terms of the whole, because then we could say the same thing with like One Piece. Okay, Luffy beats all these people that he goes to. Luffy did this. He beat Arlong. He beat Crocodile. He beats who's the dude's name in Chopper's thing? You know that metal dude or whatever. He beats freaking Doflamingo. He beats whatever. Like okay, Luffy's clearly the world builder here.
I mean, he's beginning to be.
He is. How many kingdoms is he taking over?
Wapol in the world scheme of things is like
okay.
I'm saying at this point he's getting to be there. Beating an emperor.
Where is that right now? He's there, right?
He's definitely up in the top 5 for world builders.
But then here's the thing. But my thing is, he's getting there. But even then, that's only 2 years. That's only 2 years. There's only 2 years that he's been on the Earth, or no, 2 years that he's been on his pirate journey. And there's no way that has toppled the influence that Goldie Roger or the Gorosei has had. And I feel like that's the same thing that with One for All, if we're going to use, because he's been beaten time and time again, whether it be by All Might or whatever, in this one moment now, because you said even just right now Luffy is. Even just right now. But he's done so many things in these 1,000 episodes.
That's what I'm saying.
All for One is only done in this moment, and he's already more than All Might?
I think
how? So I think All for One has literally been planning this for how long? How are you
he hasn't done it until now.
I feel like,
and he's lost time and time again.
The planning isn't.
That's like the Batman argument. Oh yeah, prep time.
I think the whole world building, like I get it from like the first season. If you looked at like the time frame, and All Might is obviously the most influential character in the heroes' lives, but the most influential character I think to All Might and moving his motives and changing him is All for One. I think without him driving All Might, you don't have that balance. So I think you have to have All for One.
Do you think that's his driver? Is
All for
what-
One's drive was not, or One for All's drive, or All Might's drive was not All Might, or All for One. Goodness, All Might's drive was not All for One. His drive was he wanted to be a hero that protected people. He got the power, and through learning of his teacher in her past battle, found out that there is this rival out here. He became that hero that protected everyone with a smile on his face before he ever even fought the person that you're saying influenced him.
I think
Really
they're
did
rivals.
influence him. Really, he fought him, lost something heavy like his stomach or whatever, and then was like to Deku, like, this is someone that you're gonna have to worry about in the future. He defeated him before, but you're gonna have to defeat him in the future.
He's got the
Because
most
of all
broken
his
quirk
abilities.
ever that he's not going to be gone.
But like, we could literally just
Yeah.
go on this
It's-
all
it-
day.
I mean, it's
But,
not.
like,
It's
I love, yeah, right. And I think it's just like we think it's All Might. You guys think it's One for All or All for One, and let us know what you guys think. Let us know who you think is like wild and out. This is going to be good for TikTok.
If you think
Yeah, like you.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think wild and out because I want to hear someone be like, "What are you talking about?" One way or the other. Like, what, huh? How do you get there? And someone will point out stuff that we didn't even think of, and we're gonna be like, "What the heck?" Because like,
all the All Might
Nah, bro,
lasers.
it's great.
huh?
It's great juice.
Oh, I'm sure there's one
It's
for All Might
Mineta.
too.
Mineta's
Or All for
most
One.
influential. Without Mineta, there's no show.
Yo, what are you talking about? It's clearly what's his name? I
If you
forgot
say
his name.
Mineta, if you say Mineta, just don't even watch.
No, bro, it's midnight. It's midnight, bro. Without her body, none of these guys have been inspired to do anything,
it.
man.
That's the bunny.
R.I.P.
Oh, she's tough though. Don't get it
Mirko?
twisted.
Mirko?
The bunny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
yo,
think it's Mirko.
yo.
Yeah, it might be yeah.
Things I feel for that woman. I'm scared. I'm playing. I'm playing. All right. Anyways, what do we got next? That was a good one. What's going on?
But, what do we want to go to?
All right.
After
Let's
that?
go to the bottom of the list again. Let's go Naruto.
Oh,
He's going. No,
God.
don't do Naruto. Do Naruto last. Hold on. What's that?
Naruto lasts forever.
Do Naruto
so I know
last.
we should
Do Naruto last. Do Naruto last.
All right. Let's go Black Clover.
Who is the most influential to the world building?
I think it has to be like that's to our knowledge, like the first Wizard King. I'm pretty sure it's him because
Every single intro for the first like 30, episodes.
It gives you like,
And then the Wizard King was
subliminal messaging.
Yeah,
It's him.
It has to be because like he's the inspiration for every magical night. Maybe not every magical night for the magic for literally.
I would say Julian is a big
for-
is very
No,
interesting.
Corona
Julius-
is like,
it's like-
Julius.
it's like-
Ew.
Yeah.
I said Julian. Julius. My bad.
I think okay. Actually, hold on. Now you got me.
Julius is
you
close.
changed my I started to think about it, and I was like,
Yami.
freaking.
I don't know about Yami.
The
I think
original
Julius.
Wizard King, and just Wizard Kings in general, is Asta and Yuno, based on what we know. Everyone else does not care as much about I'm going to be the Wizard King, other than those two. Like those two care a lot.
Did no one else want to be the Wizard King?
Other people might want to, but you don't really hear it from them.
Doesn't
I think-
Noel's brother want to be Wizard King and like
Do they really?
doesn't he want to be Wizard King or not?
I don't know if they care that much.
I-
I think they're just happy being captains.
I don't know. I don't know if they talk
Maybe
about
I'm
being
bugging.
Wizard King.
I don't remember. You watched so much
I
recently.
don't know if the Wizard King position matters to as many people.
Well, they're
I
noble,
think
so that
they're
would
chill-
make sense why
I
it
think
wouldn't
they're
be.
chilling being
This is where I was
captains.
going with that.
Okay, go ahead.
Nobles, most Magic Knights are nobles. Their perspective, it's different than commoners, but their perspective is just like, we're nobles. We deserve this.
We already
are the highest of the high. We're nobility. We deserve this Magic Knight position. And yes, we're here to protect the commoners or whatever. But like, really, we're just flaunting ourselves and our glory and our fame and our riches, and everyone should bask in all that.
When some of them
That's-
do care.
I think that's most magical knights, and then you have the
It's
random, like Black Bulls, their whole thing.
And
You have Mereoleona.
Marileona. What's
you
the other
have
one's name?
Fuego Leon.
Yeah, I can.
Those
Yo, I
two.
never remember these names.
You have
One of my favorite animes.
random Magic Knight captains and random people that are like cool. Actually, wanted to like,
William.
caring about-
William cares.
William caring about.
He likes
people.
you, know.
And Julius, they care about the people.
Julius
But
just is like a
The
huge
overwhelming
magic nerd.
majority
He's
of Magic
hilarious.
Knights don't care about that. So it's like, is the Wizard King the most influential?
I
Or
think-
is,
But
I don't think
well.
is the King more influential?
No,
the
no.
king-
We know
based
that's
on-
not true.
Based on
The king. You mean the Wimpy King?
the position of the
No. I know. No.
That's what I'm talking
No.
about.
I know.
Nobility.
I mean, I think he has the most. I think he has the most authority.
I don't think the
I
king
don't
is
think he's the most. No, listen.
because no one cares
I don't think he's the most influential because
Nobility?
no. Listen. I don't think he's the most influential because think about how Julius, whenever he's talking, like legit, they're all like it's like he's a freaking gag. Like the king is like, oh,
The
nobody,
king is an
nobody,
actual guy.
nobody
Oh,
wants,
shit.
nobody wants to listen to him. He's like, why am I not getting my praise? Why am I not getting my glory?
And then Julius walks
up and it's like everyone wants to listen to everything he has to say because he's trusted, he's honored, he's respected, he's powerful. He can rely on him.
I think
Now, does that mean that everyone like looks at him in the way of like, oh, you are like? Does it mean that he's the world builder? Not necessarily, but I do think
I think he's more
Even
important.
if it's not the king, I low key think it's nobility because even commoners are like respectful and like praising of nobility.
Yeah, but
There's people that hate on it,
You know
and there's
what
people
that-
that rebel.
but even the common
But, like,
folk respect
Wizard King,
Julius more
yeah.
than the king.
They do. They like it. Yeah, all
They
of them
respect
like
him
more.
way
For
more
sure.
than the king.
For sure.
So I don't think the king himself.
Maybe
I
not
get what
the
you're
king,
saying
but
about
the position
nobility.
Of nobility more so than the king.
Yeah, the king is a
king
the king is a
represents the
joke.
highest of the high. That's
The king
why
is
I
a
said
joke.
that.
he's
The king is a
he's
joke.
such a joke.
But I don't know.
I can't stand that dude.
I just think Julius himself. I mean, look at.
I would say I think I
he's
would
the
put-
reason. He's the reason Yami exists. He's
Why
the
Yami is
reason
like a captain and why he
yeah,
did all that. Yeah,
he's the reason they both exist. I'm not saying he's the most, but of like
we're gonna pick somebody.
If you're gonna pick someone in the actual world right now, Julius, I think is
If you have to
For
pick
sure.
a person, then I feel like it's Julius. But based on like how the world is shaped, like
You-
specifically the Clover Kingdom, it's like nobility is everything.
Yeah.
So if I could pick like something, I would say that
being a noble.
being a noble is looked at like that has shaped how the world is. Because being a noble, being a magic knight is the highest honor, the highest praise you can
I don't
get.
know.
Which I think.
would
Well,
like-
I get.
That's why commoners
Yeah.
want to be in the Magic Knights because.
But
that
then you
is
can
the
kind of
goal.
go back to like the
Well, I
Wizard
think-
King. Like I feel like the first Wizard King, everybody strives to be that because they want to be the strongest, and
You
they
can
see
say
the
that.
Wizard
That's a good
King,
point.
the first Wizard
I
King,
think-
they see as the strongest, and they want.
Well,
to
I think that's
be
why the
that.
commoners strive to be the Wizard King.
Yeah, so I
Because-
mean,
because they
realistically,
because
that's
that
more
puts them in that puts them. That gives them that respect, like that. I don't know, counterfeit version of nobility, or is it actually nobility? I don't even know if you're actually.
No, I mean you're still looked down upon even if you're a commoner with magic.
Well, no, if you're the Wizard King, I don't think you would look down.
Well, no, but like getting to that point would be very
Right.
difficult.
But
because you're looked down upon
I mean, and
at that
obviously,
point.
but now things are also changing with that. Like people, this respect, gets the
Yeah.
respect. Asa's and start. Well,
starting
honestly, they disrespect Asa. It pissed me off. It actually pissed me off.
But
Well,
even
they don't
like,
know-
Even
they don't even
people
realize.
Like
Yeah.
our cop, the trap magic guy for the Black Bulls. He became and his dad.
His dad.
They both of them.
His
were
dad was
commoners.
his dad was the first commoner.
First commoner.
So the one that gets
And
killed.
He was the thing is he was disrespected.
He got killed.
Killed
nobles,
by his-
killed by nobles.
Yeah,
And it was like
by his own
no
crew.
one said a word about it.
Yeah.
No commoners, no nothing.
Nah, me
They
tight.
agreed with the nobles. So that's like,
yes, but the
That's-
fact that he even wanted to be that, I feel like might be because of the first Wizard
and
King.
I'm not. And honestly,
I think-
I feel you could say that, and I'm not mad about it. You
yeah,
could 100% say
I
that.
think
So
the first Wizard
what are we
King-
thinking though? What are
I
we
think the
thinking?
first Wizard King.
Julius.
so-
Oh, the first Wizard King.
I think so. If you're looking at the whole entire world, the first
I just
Wizard
feel like
King
we
is
don't-
why.
My thing is
like-
he was announced a Wizard King after he died, so it's just like
yes, but he
Like,
literally.
what he did to die. is
what he
kind of-
did, yeah, with the elves or whatever.
I mean, he literally.
Well, like the demon thing.
I guess
he kind of saved the world.
that
He
did.
did save that. Yeah.
Yeah,
literally
that
kinda saved the world.
set the tone for.
I mean, if you want to go that, he literally saved the world.
yeah, I guess
They
you could say.
created a position that lasted forever. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
facts. I guess he would be.
I feel you could say that.
Reason Asta and are striving to be the Wizard King is because he existed.
Yeah,
I mean,
they lived in the town where the skull of the demon or whatever you defeated.
Yeah.
was.
I
We can give it to the first Wizard King.
Yeah, I
I
think.
think-
I'll give it to
I
it.
think you
All
kind
right,
of
all that just to agree. All right, what do we got next?
Let's jump to a Vinland Saga.
Go ahead. Go on your Askeladd thing. You said it. So
I'm just saying. I think. Well, what's the alternative? Thor's, right?
You say what you think.
I
bro.
know. I'm
Don't
just saying.
worry
I'm
about
saying. There's got to be some opposition, but Askeladd. I mean,
I'll go. I'll tell you mine after you. Go ahead,
okay.
go.
So Askeladd. I think the obvious alternative would be to say Thor's, but who takes down Thor's and then is like the puppeteer
No,
for.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I
go
mean, he's
ahead,
the
go ahead.
puppeteer the entire time.
Oh yeah. No, I freaking love Askeladd. So keep going. Keep going.
I don't have a lot to say about
Oh,
it.
is that it?
I'm just saying he takes down Thor's. He literally is the puppeteer for the entire rest of the season. He is the reason they get the prince. Like he's literally always the one behind every single plan.
Right. Let's not get it twisted though. He didn't take down Thor's.
He didn't take down
Thor's
Thor.
Thor's let himself be taken down for the sake of his son
Yes.
and his people.
and his way of
And his
beliefs.
Yo, he was
Yes.
like, oh, okay, you're not honored. Vinland Saga,
What's Thorfinn looking for?
huh?
Vinland.
Yeah.
Who inspired him to look for Vinland?
Thor's.
Right, bro. Don't do that.
Kevin said, boom.
I didn't know what side you were on.
Kevin said, mic drop. Don't talk about it no more.
Don't do that and sit here and say
So-
Askeladd. I was gonna.
No, here, pause though.
Woo!
First of all, let's not get it twisted. Askeladd is one of the coldest characters like in anime. I freaking love it. But Thor's is like Isaac said this before we started. He's like
Oh,
mystical,
bro.
like he's
Bro,
like a
he is like looked at as a god
guiding light.
within.
Yeah.
It's like he.
We
went to
can't go
Valhalla.
season 2 because you're here. But
No, I'm just saying like the way that every single person are like Thor's like, oh, you're nothing like Thor's, or like you're the son of
Thorkel.
There's no
When
way.
Thorkel met him, he was like, Thorfinn, son of Thor's. Like,
Bro.
oh, sure. I would have battled him again. Like,
He's like the
bro.
only man who might have actually been able
yeah,
to
and we all know he would have put that work on him.
The way-
Thor's was broken.
The way that he was talked about, man, he shaped Viking culture, which is what we're talking about to the umph degree.
The
He
most
was
broken
the
man who
top
died out of his
of
own
the
volition.
top of Viking.
He chose them.
Yes.
He shifted his mindset.
And he had fought in like how many years? He came out of retirement, guns ablazing against the
Bro.
whole Askeladd squad.
I'm just saying, bro.
Excuse
I'm
me?
just saying. We can't. And
This man out here killing people. Let me dive into the water and go live a better life. like what?
the show is centered around Vikings that still believe the way that Thor's used to think. That's what this show is centered around, right? Thor and yes, and Thorfinn is trying to get revenge for his dad.
The whole time.
What we see the entire time, season 1, is them pillaging, them going from town to town, them being Vikings and doing their Viking thing, like nasty work.
Legit nasty
Nasty work. What it looks like is what Thor's was best at. That's what we're seeing the entire time. And Thor's is praised to the umph degree the entire time. And Askeladd is like, even he himself is like, we would have never beat him had we not ambushed him.
Yeah.
And he didn't give up because he gave up and he was ambushed. Two things, which is crazy. Thor's was the epitome. It's like he's like the Viking demigod. Like he was that,
Yeah.
according to everyone that's ever talked about him. Right?
Thanks.
So
I'm 100%. I'm 100%.
world, bro.
I thought.
building,
And also-
I give it to Thor's influence
On Thorfinn, of the influence on Thorfinn, and like,
But like I'm not gonna leave Austin 100% like in that place because even though I do think it's Thor's, Askeladd literally it started off with this whole we didn't know what Thor's came in, we didn't know who the main character was. We had that one episode like that pre-episode where, like I was like, oh, it's gonna be about Thorfinn, it's gonna be about his son. But anyways, like Askeladd did shape the way we saw the world because we knew who Thor's was before. We knew Thor's was, he had his family, had his son, but Askeladd and his crew, or what do you call it, the Viking squad, or whatever you would call
It was
them.
mostly his crew because
That-
they didn't even care about
They
Viking stuff
legit
that much.
were
They
like,
wanted
they
money.
were-
this is what we thought being
They were paid
Vikings
mercenaries,
were.
essentially.
Like seeing Askeladd, seeing that they created the world that we saw of Vinland Saga, although Thor's is.
Of Thor's prior to him giving all that up. So Askeladd is like the
Yeah.
living, like
Embodiment of what Thor's was doing prior to.
yeah.
Yeah.
but who does everyone look up to?
Thor's. I think that's
Right?
had Thor's not had all this praise from every single person that's ever heard his name. You're the son of Thor's.
I don't even know if Askeladd is like that. I think he's even worse than like Vikings because he will turn on
Anyone.
Viking. He will turn on anybody.
Yeah, okay.
as long as you give
You're
him
my
hope.
man. He started killing his own men.
He's a straight up.
I mean, they
mercenary.
turned on him, but
He's a straight up mercenary. He does not care who he has to turn on.
he said, "I hate you." We need to work with them for
Yeah.
years. I hate all of you.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah, I was going.
He has no Viking like.
And the one guy that
respect.
respected him so much, I was like, "Damn."
Yeah, he doesn't respect him. Yeah.
Amongst Vikings.
So I don't even put him in the Thor's. Like Thor's at least was like fighting as a Viking, whereas Askeladd just like. If you
Well,
give me some
Askeladd will
gold-
find out about his history
Okay.
and where he comes from, and he's
Thorfinn sees in like near-death experiences or his dreams, nightmares, like it's Askeladd. Like
he sees both though.
he does see.
I'll tell you what, man. And in terms of like who shaped Thorfinn to be the person he was the most, it's Askeladd for sure. I think who
Yo,
he.
I feel like it's both.
I
It's
think,
very torn for me.
I think it's Askeladd.
Young
And
Thorfinn,
him-
I think it's Askeladd.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, him becoming the fighter he became.
I mean, he
as
became the
Askeladd,
fighter he was
him
because
seeing-
of him, for sure.
No, just
Yeah.
like him seeing how everything is operated, how the kind of person that Askeladd was, all of that is like what shaped Thorfinn to be who he was. And then even at
How
the
harsh
end,
the whole world
even at
is
the
in
end,
general.
and him like angry that Askeladd died and he was the one that got him, like that was Askeladd that got him to like consider and think. And there's more stuff in season 2 that you find out, but like that's what shaped him to be like reconsider his way of life. What he's been raised on thinking was revenge for however many years.
Well, because of what
Right.
Askeladd did to his dad.
Askeladd did, his death, what he even said to Thorfinn on his deathbed, all of that shaped him to be the person that I think he becomes in season 2. And it's like,
You think that was attributed to Askeladd?
and I think it's to Askeladd, and because of Askeladd, he looks back on things before that, which is Thor's. But I think without Askeladd and everything that he taught him inadvertently through,
But then also, like, had Askeladd never been a part of the picture, he would have always looked back to. He would have been raised.
he
in
would
the
have
way
never
that
been the fighter he was.
He
He
would've-
would have been a punk.
You don't think Thor's would ever trained him?
Maybe.
Not to that extent,
think
because he wouldn't have got the real. I mean, he wouldn't have
Real
got
life
the
battle
real world-
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's straight. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That is straight up hot armor that he survived that. Homie would have died.
Thorfinn.
Yeah, he would have died. I remember when he first went out.
Yeah.
Get strong. Oh, okay. Like you didn't protect him. You didn't even try and
The
help
dude-
him. He just.
This 8-year-old.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
8-year-old's fighting Rome.
Okay. That's a BS.
I didn't even think about it.
Oh, that's a
I thought
BS.
season 1, I only think about him being.
No.
That's what
I was like,
Without Askeladd, we're getting into season 2 and season 1.
yeah.
Thorfinn Homefield.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally 8-year-old fighting some literally grown
I said,
Viking
no, he
man
didn't.
with full
I said no, he didn't. Like, that's a BS. But okay, so Thor. Okay, Thor's Askeladd.
Let me just say, I think Thor's okay. I will admit, like as an entire like Viking tradition, essentially, like who they look up to.
World.
Yeah, I would give it to Thor's, but like in the world of like literal Vinland Saga, like the show,
The main character.
like
That's a good-
I would
that's a good-
say
And I
can agree with
I agree. I'm like a hybrid with that because I think Thor's definitely has.
in the actual
World-
show itself, I would say Askeladd, but as like the entire like world, if you look at it, I think Thor's. So I'll
I think
caveat that.
long game, long term, as we continue on with the show, 3 seasons, 3rd season, 5th, 5th season, whatever,
Obviously.
it'll be Thor's.
Obviously.
It'll be Thor's 100%.
Yeah.
But I
Just
think-
Vinland, bro. Just like what he talked about.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Those
So-
two definitely are shaping Thorfinn for sure. Because I mean, like
Yeah.
at some point, Thorfinn's going to go dual daggers, go back into his combat mode, and that's Askeladd's influence for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, I mean, it is.
And we're gonna go to the next show.
Yeah. Okay, So I would say that's one where I'm kind of split on a little.
I got a hybrid there.
A little bit.
I could. What you said, I kind of agree with.
Yeah, the show itself I think is Askeladd, but as the entire actual world, if you like zoom out, I think it's more Thor's.
All right, what do we got?
Let's jump to our last one. Let's jump to Naruto.
Oh, is that the last one? All right.
I mean,
The world builder.
Do you want to do it? Do you want to do Attack on Titan real quick?
Oh, is Attack on Titan on here?
Do you want to do it real quick? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious.
Okay. Aaron Yeager.
Aaron Yeager.
I think the Attack Titan.
You're so full. Get
outta here.
Because I said, is it Grisha? Is his name right? I said Grisha, and he goes, well, it's not Grisha, it'd be Attack. I'm like, oh yeah, because
So okay, real talk, and not all of us have finished it. Kev doesn't even want to. So
Oh,
I'm just
hater,
gonna say what
man.
I want to.
get us to 1,000 subscribers.
It is the Attack Titan's ability. Or
Okay.
it's Ymir. Like that's it. Because Ymir, and Kevin doesn't even know who I'm talking about, has been searching for
Shut up.
someone
Sounds cool.
to do what Aaron did for thousands of years.
Okay.
And that's only possible through what the Attack Titan's power is to see past, present, and the future all at the same time. So
Shh, don't listen.
without
Don't
that, without that, the world of Attack on Titan is not the world, and it doesn't become the way it becomes.
Okay. If you want
I
to go,
think
if you want to go back to that, yes, I guess.
Well,
we
I
can
think
say that.
for me, it's like it had the kind of thing. Same thing with One for or All for One is like you don't realize till later
Yeah.
who is in
that's-
control of everything, but even more so because he's in control of.
That is that's
everything.
even more than My Hero, because that's like
It's gonna end up how we want it to end
Okay.
up.
every decision. And this,
Do we don't want to spoil it? 1,000 subscribers to get this man to finish the show.
I can see what you're saying, but I do kind of think it's a little bit towards the all for one argument. Maybe not quite as much.
way.
Not quite as much.
I don't even see it a little bit, to be honest.
All right, let's move on. We
Yeah.
give her a little Attack on Titan dose to get Kevin to watch all of it, but now let's go on to
Okay, Naruto.
Naruto.
Let's
Who wants to
round
go
it
first
out.
on this?
We started with One Piece. Let's finish with Naruto.
Yes, the two best animes.
Kevin's a D1 hater.
Kev, what do you get? I literally D1 professional athlete. Oh, go ahead.
Jeez. Okay, so yeah, Naruto.
Kicking off Naruto.
World building. Oh,
That
you
is
said
so-
you said something right,
yeah.
didn't you?
I mean, it's a
This
decent
one's
one.
tough for me. I'm gonna have to go with the first Hokage and Madara. I think.
You gotta pick one. You gotta pick one. You
I'm gonna go
can't pick
Madara.
two. Okay, Madara.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, explain.
I mean, I think this is going back to like the My Hero thing. I think the implementation of kind of this like overarching manipulation into the world, like controlling Obito, like really influencing past, present, and future in this regard, is
I got something
You
already.
would think you like Attack on Titan, but anyways.
I got something to say about this one, Jay.
Yeah, I kind of feel like his influence throughout the generations is really what's kind of like shaped the world to what it is and put it into the place that it is, and gives us like throughout the entire thing, I feel like the characters are almost acting out his manipulated play.
And I'd love to,
That's fair.
and I'd love to give that to him, except for the fact that homie was manipulated by what's her name the entire time. Yo, everything was a lie. Everything was a
I
lie.
was literally just about to say, if we want to go back a step
Oh
further,
no!
I was literally the whole
Were you gonna
time.
say that?
The whole
That's
time.
what I was going to.
The whole
I was like,
time.
really though? Was it Madara or was it? Was it Madara? Yo, but
We can trace
but
it
you know,
one step
I'm gonna. Oh, yes.
further.
I was gonna say.
So, I mean, you're really hyped. You can say it. Go ahead.
Okay, mine is like way later. So like, I can see how you could say the first Hokage if like someone would say that because he could. You told you can go if that's what you're gonna do. But who I'm gonna pick is because in the sense of like Naruto, I'm gonna pick his parents. And if I had to pick one, obviously the dad, probably. I forgot his name. Minato. Wow. Forgive me, Naruto family. Minato, because had I with that whole situation, he becomes the fourth Hokage. I don't think he's been the fourth Hokage for a very long time. The whole Nine-Tails situation comes in. They sacrifice themselves, seal Naruto with the Nine-Tails. Naruto, and then that's like the beginning of the journey, right? Naruto goes on to live the beginning of his life without parents, without love, with a demon inside of it, or a tail beast inside of him, and like that is the beginning of the journey for him. Like and that's how we get wherever we get. And obviously, there is those other elements from the beginning of the show that like end up coming to fruition later in life. But like, who built the world of Naruto? Who built what we saw as Naruto? His perspective, his life, us rooting for him was off because of the actions of Minato, and I guess whoever put the tail beast there. I guess you could give them. Was that Obito?
It was Obito, yeah.
Obito?
Yeah, he's the one that attacked the leaf. Yeah.
Yes.
Obito. I mean, who gave the order? I mean, but it was Obito that attacked. So
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, when you think about it, like the Jinchurikis like are put together for the Ten Tails through Madara and Obito, but
But
yeah, we know who's running that.
but who's running Madara?
All right.
So who's running Madara?
Well,
Let's see what Isaac
I
has to
think
say.
Naruto is part of like Naruto and Naruto's parents are part of that bigger plot of Madara's like for the world building.
But I don't think that they had even anticipated what was coming
Because like
for
Madara's
them.
affecting the whole
with
world.
Naruto.
That affects Naruto specifically for sure. But I think world building wise, Madara is waiting for all of those Nine Tails or like all of the tail beasts to put them in and create the Ten Tails. And like so I think his influence exceeds that in world building.
I think Madara's a bigger player in the entire world, whereas like Minato and stuff are bigger in like the Leaf Village.
For their purpose.
Naruto's story.
That's what I mean. Like they are the people that were not only brought Naruto to this earth,
It depends.
but sealed that power inside of
It
him.
depends on how you. It depends on how
sealed
you
that power.
interpret the question a little bit.
Yeah. I was like,
It's like the entire world, or like the world of the Naruto.
It's like clear for me
Oh,
between
okay.
like two groups of people. It's Kaguya and
Yeah.
Ishiki,
No one can be against that one.
who came to the planet to drain this world of all its chakra, right? And chakra was introduced into the world because of them.
Yeah.
That's why we have people that were fighting wars with these abilities.
I mean, and
Well, that is the answer.
So
Yeah.
it's like they
Technically.
they influenced the world.
I'm just saying,
what
like,
it could
aren't
be, or it's Hashirama. And without Hashirama, he brought an end to war. It was constant conflict and fighting against each other, clans fighting against clans. People would ally, but always betrayed each other for generations. That's just how it was. It was accepted until Hashirama came up with this great plan and was just like, I want you as my best friend or my best friend and rival, Madara, to agree with me to create this system where we have a village, a group of people that came together to accept each other even for our differences and decide to work together to create something better. He did that. People saw what he did, and that's where you got the hidden rain, the hidden cloud, the hidden sand. All of that came from Hashirama deciding there is a better path out there for this world. Without him and his decision to create the hidden leaf, there is no Naruto universe where we see, and the splitting of the Jinchuriki, the splitting of the tail beast, that was Hashirama. He captured them all, gave every village a tail beast, so everyone had the ability and that power to seal, do whatever you want.
Well, he had the whole like ceiling.
I feel like I give it to him even over
It's like-
whoever's her name.
Kaguya?
I get because yes, they brought the ability of like chakra and everything
Yeah,
to the earth, but he
yes.
formed the world.
I was gonna say Hashirama is my answer.
I'd pick him over
because
her.
I think Hashirama and
aspect
Madara are
of
like
how
the two.
World, like I understand Madara to an extent, and he was like angry and upset.
No, he was just a manipulative.
He's
He was a little
the-
manipulated boy the whole
he's the
time.
other side of the coin
Change.
again.
So the thing about Madara is he was like Hashirama saw the bigger picture. He wanted world peace. Essentially, he wanted everyone to be free, and with his strength, he was able to accomplish that. Madara was strong, but he really only cared about his people. At the end of the day, he cared about the Uchiha and the Uchiha being strong. And through that, he was trying to manipulate things behind the scenes, meanwhile not understanding that he was being manipulated by the people that brought chakra into the world to begin with. So it's like he did a lot, and he influenced a lot of people, but that was really just him being manipulated at the end of the day. And it was just to bring it back to the initial, like, we're draining chakra from everything. So when it comes to the biggest world shaper, biggest influence on the world, it has to be Hashirama. Because without him, there is no Naruto world where we're seeing people go on missions and there's like rivalry between villages. There is no villages. It's just war. There is no safe haven. You're never really safe because you're constantly at war. Without Hashirama, that doesn't exist.
I rock with that.
So that's why I have to choose Hashirama.
That's true. That's a good point.
Did you already say yours?
I mean, it's either Hashirama or Madara. I think it's like the whole all for one.
I feel like it.
argument.
I feel like.
It's
I feel like.
it's a
I
coin
feel like.
flip.
I feel like it can't be Madara because of
I don't think-
because you were a puppet the whole time,
I really
unintentionally.
I mean, then you could just go back. You can just go
want to put
Kaguya.
Ryan here, but like he's not.
No, because you
Who?
did bring up a good point before about how
That was your original one. I wanted to hear that. And then he goes, "No, Madara." I was like, "What?"
Like,
Oh, my bad.
I think
on a larger scale, Madara's impact to the world building, I think put him over that. But I think
But was it? But it wasn't
all
him
the
though.
Characters,
Yeah.
and this is kind of I think this is going back to like the same thing with the My Hero thing, where like I think Jiraiya is in a sense kind of like the All Might, where he's the influencer of like the good and the good characters in Naruto.
Not always good.
Not perfectly good.
Not
Yeah,
always
no,
good.
he was not a perfect man.
I'm just saying. Not he didn't.
But he
influence
always
always
had
good.
Yeah, he taught he taught pain.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
one of the
taught
most
pain.
notorious villains in all of Naruto was.
But he was just broken. That wasn't Jiraiya's fault.
I
It
didn't
was the
say-
circumstances of his village.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying he.
But
yes,
his
offshoot
Jiraiya's
disciples
intentions were to
were-
make them be able to fend for themselves in a world where they were at war. So
My
like
point was his disciples did not always
follow suit.
they did not always turn out
I
great.
see
Yeah.
what you're saying.
But his impact on them all was very.
But let me just say,
Very
Naruto is 100 for 100, turning everyone good, right?
That Talk No Jutsu goes undefeated. I'm
Yo,
sorry.
100. I'm saying the most influential person in the world as of now is Naruto.
He shaped the current world of Naruto to where it's like we were at peace with Hashirama, but there was still strife between villages because they weren't connected like that. People just
He brought
modeled-
peace amongst.
They modeled their own villages after what Hashirama did and created peace within their own villages. But Naruto brought peace between everyone. So you
Yeah.
could, I think
Like, I saw
Naruto,
Boruto.
like you're either arguing.
If you're looking
for
to
me-
Boruto,
For me, it's Hashirama or Naruto.
well, if you're looking
That's
into
really-
Boruto,
And I'm
then-
other than the like Otsutsuki, it's Naruto or.
and I pick Naruto.
So that's fair. That's fair. I'm not mad about that.
Right. And Hashirama, you can't be mad at Hashirama.
Unity between all villages. No one was able to do that before. Like that was Hashirama's like biggest goal. Never accomplished it. Naruto did.
Yep.
So
My man Naruto. All right, guys. Go binge Naruto, please. Best anime of all time. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section. I know I'm the one that believes my last statement. So we will see you next time. Peace.